All right, welcome to this video on percent, fraction, and decimal equivalents. We start on page 109, and on 109 the warm-up had us take this fraction and turn it into another fraction that was equal but had a denominator of 100. And really what this is doing is setting us up for turning fractions into percents. So we need to multiply by 10 on the bottom and the top, so we get 10 100ths. We need to multiply by 20, and we get 40 100ths. We need to multiply by 5, so we get 15 100ths. And here, a little bit tricky, we could simplify 24 40ths to 8 over 10, and then advance to something over 100. Multiplied by 10, we'd have 80 over 100. Okay? And then we looked at this scenario, the survey of 100 sixth graders, where they would want to go in Philadelphia. All right? So 35 of the students chose the Liberty Bell, so we would write a ratio of 35 to 100. And as a fraction, we write that as 35 over 100, and then we simplify it, because that's what it says to do over here in lowest terms, into 7 over 20, and then the decimal would be 0.35, or 35 hundredths, and then we would shade in 3 10 groups and 5 ones for 35, and then the percent, as we find later, is 35%. Okay, so basically did that throughout here on this table. It's basically just showing different representations. They all are equivalent. They all come back to the same example, the same situation. All right, and we looked at how you can get from a fraction, okay, and then write it as a decimal. And then we can change this into a percent, because percent means out of 100, right, because they are all related. Okay, then we look for a pattern here. How do we get from a percent to a decimal? Well, we talked about how you can move the decimal place over 2 spots to the left, like we did over here, and then remove the percent sign. Okay, we can do the opposite when we're going the other direction. Okay, so in other words, 80% would be 8 tenths, 3% would be 3 hundredths, 42.5% would be, oops, sorry, that's a 12, sorry. 12.5% would be 125 thousandths, and so on. And the other way, if we have a decimal, we move the decimal over 2 places to the right. In this case, we have to add a 0 and then the percent sign. So 4 tenths would be 40%. Okay? And here, we're changing the fractions to a percent, which is basically what we did on our warm-up. Right? Sometimes it works well to scale up to 100. Sometimes it doesn't, for the example here. So what we had to do is divide the top number, in this case 4, divided by 5, and we get a decimal, 0.8, and we turn that decimal into a percent, just like we did in this section up here. All right, 8 will go into 3, 375 thousandths of the time, and that turns into 37.5%. Okay, then we worked on these number lines. All right, filled in the missing values in each. All right, and that's basically what we're going to do on our assignment. We're going to fill in these missing values here. On number 2, we're filling in this chart. Don't worry too much about the number of siblings. Okay, yes, it happens to be a number, but it's basically a category. This could just as easily be, you have a blue, you have a red, you have a yellow, you have a brown, you have whatever, right? They're just categories of things, right? In this case, there's the number of people that said they had 0 siblings. So don't let these numbers throw you off. What you need to do is look over here. This fraction is 3/20ths. So how do we write that fraction over here as a ratio? And then how do we write it as a percent, or sorry, a decimal and then a percent? Basically what we did over here. Okay? And then here, we start with the percent. We need to work our way back to decimal, fraction, and a ratio. But be very careful. We want these ratios and these fractions in lowest terms. Okay? Thanks for watching. Hopefully this video is helpful. Until next time. Bye. Bye.